Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miss Coffee and today we are doing a whip and chat. If you don't know what a whip and chat is, whip stands for work in progress. So get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know I did. We took the kids to the park and you guys, look, listen. If at any point during the summer one of y'all want to come get Maggie, I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get started with these stories now. So we decided to take the kids to the park this weekend. They have a skate park here in where we live, and so we decided to take the kids over there with their skates and their scooters and their bikes. We loaded it all up into Mr. Coffee's truck, and then we headed on over to the park. As usual, it's a Saturday, so there are other people there. And we didn't stay too long because the weather started getting kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with the weather here all of a sudden, but we're still wearing winter coats and summer vacation starts for the kids in 2 days. Okay. That's what I'm dealing with here right now. So we take the kids to the skate park and we have their helmets and everything. Now, one of the things I've been wanting to get Maggie is one of those butt pads. If you don't know what the butt pad is, it's something that you strap on like a belt. And it protects your butt if you fall, like, riding your bike or something. I wanted to get Maggie one of those because you guys know one swift wind and she falls over, she could hurt something, okay? Maggie's one good fart away from blowing out her whole spine. So I'm just like, be careful while you're skating. Maggie's running into people, and I'm not talking about people like me and Mr. Coffee, nay, because me and Mr. Coffee were skating with the kids as they were riding their bikes and scooters. Maggie's running into other people. Maggie's outside of the park running into people's dogs on the sidewalk. Maggie's all over the place. She's having the time of her life, though. Like, I wish I could have the level of 0 Fs given that Maggie has, because Maggie gives 0 Fs. She just lives her life by whatever she wants to do in that particular moment. And I wish I could live so carefree. The thought of not having to pay bills and not caring what people say or think or do, that's the life that Maggie lives. And I too aspire to live a life like this. But, the way my life is set up, I'm an adult, so I can't do that. So I'm sitting there and we're at the park and she's like, Mom, can we go get ice cream? Now there's a Dairy Queen that's right across the street from the park. So we go over and we get ice cream. And we have to watch because of course me and Maggie can't have chocolate. So, and of course you guys know Dairy Queen. If you don't know, Dairy Queen is an ice cream shop. They sell burgers and stuff, but mostly it's, soft serve ice cream. And so they only usually have like chocolate or vanilla. I don't know how come they can't get the swirl, but it is what it is. So we go get ice cream and we decide, let's go drive around for a little bit. So we did some scenic take-in, just driving around town and talking and, hanging out with the kids. And I was like, well, I have some stuff that I need to get done at home. So we're going to have to get home. So we come back home, and when we come back in, I noticed something seemed off. And I was like, something just seemed weird to you? Like the dogs didn't come to the door like they normally do. And so I'm like, does something seem off? And Mr. Coffee's like, no, I think it's, just in your head, blah, blah, blah. And he loves saying it's just in my head because, he thinks I'm insane. So I'm just like, no, something seems really off. Well, come to find out, something was off because as I walked into the house, I noticed that the ferret cage was open. And I was like, who left the ferret cage open? Maggie was like, I did. I'm like, why did you do that? Well, Mom, it's got to be boring sitting in that cage all day in case they wanted to come out and play. Okay, so now the ferrets have been running around the house, which I never let the ferrets out without me being home because we do have big dogs. And where the dogs do get along with the ferrets, all it's going to take is one time for the dogs to try to play with the ferrets and not realize their strength and hurt the ferrets. Plus, a bite from a dog is fatal to a ferret. So I would never leave them out together alone. I would either cage the dogs or the ferrets would be caged. But either way, one of them would be caged. Oh, by the way, I'm working on Raven Crit 2. This is the last section of this kit. I should have it finished today. And I'll post up on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure I know which canvas I'm doing next. I'm pretty excited about it. You'll have to just wait and see. I won't start it probably until next week. So yeah, there's that. But we're sitting in the house now and I'm freaking out because I'm like, where are these freaking ferrets? Now the ferrets do like to hide. in the house. Like whenever they're out, they will go hide in places like under the couch or under the TV stand or behind the TV stand or up in a room, because Anna has learned that she can crawl up under, we have spaces underneath our door, and Anna has learned that she can go up under the spaces under the door to get into everybody's room, except for my bedroom. She can't do it to mine because the carpet is too high for some reason in that area, so she can't do it to mine. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, everybody spread out, find the ferrets. So Mr. Coffee's lifting up the couch. I'm coming back here to the craft room because one of the things the ferrets love is yarn. And what do I have back here in the craft room? Yarn. Now, I don't keep my stash of yarn back here. The stash of yarn is kept upstairs. But I do keep skeins of yarn down here in the craft room. And plus, I was making that blanket for the Brooklyn Kaiju. And that blanket was sitting back here because I didn't want to get dog fur or have the ferrets crawling all over it. So I put it back here in a box while I wasn't working on it. And so I'm looking around. The kids are looking in their bedrooms. Nobody can find the freaking ferrets. Well, out of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? Boom, I got it. Now, Gumball is the bigger of the two ferrets, which the ferrets are now 1 year old. So I don't know if they're going to be growing anymore, but they're teeny tiny ferrets compared to the ones I've seen online. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, Gumball's the fat one. He's greedy, okay? Let me go get his food dish and bang on it. Because if you bang on his food dish, he will come out. It doesn't matter where he's at. He could be in the Bermuda Triangle and he's coming out. He's like a prairie dog. He's just like, somebody say food. Like, he's a fat kid at heart and in real life. So I grab the food dish and I start filling up their food dish and I start banging on the bowl. And here he comes out of nowhere. He just pops up into the kitchen. He's like, somebody say food. So I was like, oh, I found Gumball. And everybody's like, oh, okay, Gumball, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, okay, now Anna's the hard one. Anna, she likes to hide and she does what is called a dead sleep. Now, if you don't know what that means, a dead sleep is where ferrets will go to sleep and you can move them around. You can pick them up. You can pet them. You can drop them, essentially. Don't do that, but you could. And they would stay asleep like they're dead. Anna likes to do that, but she only likes to do it when she's out of the cage and has hidden herself somewhere. So I'm freaking out because at this point, it's been over an hour. We cannot find her. And unlike Gumball, who's already back in the cage, unlike Gumball, there's nothing that we can do to get her out. So I'm like, what are we going to do? She's not under, usually she's hiding under the couch. She wasn't under the couch. We didn't know where she was at. I'm looking through stuff. I have my back room tore up, okay? And take it, it's not even noon yet, okay? It's not even noon. So I'm like, we got the back room tore up. We're looking around everywhere for this goddamn ferret. I go upstairs. I open all the bedroom doors because I was like, you guys stand up here because if she's going to go in one of these bedrooms, you'll see her run across the hallway. So the kids stayed upstairs looking at the rooms as we had all the doors open. We opened the windows because she does like fresh air and she will go sit underneath a window if you have the window open. Again, ferrets are very much like cats. So if you open a window, they would like to look outside the window. At least mines do. They like looking outside the window and they saw the neighbor's cat last week and I had to stop them from clawing through my screen because they were trying to get to said cat. And I unlike Daisy, I'm pretty sure if those ferrets got to that cat he'd be gone. So I was like, no, let's not do that. So we're looking around. Finally, I'm starting to freak out even more because we can't find her. She's not making any noises. She's not coming out of hiding. I'm like, if she was asleep, we've made enough noise in this house that she should have woken up and, been like, okay, hey, I'm awake. No, we still could not find her. So finally we go sit down and I'm like, I have a lot of stuff I need to get done. It's already almost 1 o'clock. I need to get this stuff done. And Mr. Coffee's like, okay. So I go start getting my stuff done. He's playing his video games. The kids go on about their lives. We're just going to wait her out because if you wait her out, eventually she will come out. So I'm sitting there and I'm minding my own business. And Mr. Coffee, I just hear him go, oh, hey, buddy. And I'm like, oh my God, did you find Anna? He's like, no, it's Gumball. And I'm like, what do you mean it's Gumball? He's like, Gumball came out. Came out of what? I'm like, we already had Gumball in the cage. He goes, then who's in the cage? And I'm like, what do you mean? So he comes back here with Gumball in his hand and he's like, this is Gumball. I'm like, we put Gumball in the cage. Y'all, We never put Gumball in the cage. We put Anna in the cage. Gumball was the one that was still out. Now take it. They look very much alike. Minus Anna is smaller than Gumball. Like visually you can tell she's smaller, but yeah. She wasn't in the she was the one that came out for the food, not Gumball. And it was weird because we just always assumed that it's Gumball because Gumball's the one that comes out for the food usually. Well, this time it wasn't. This time it was Anna that came out for the food, and we paid no attention to it because we were so busy just trying to find them that we didn't pay attention to which ferret we had. But we did finally get both of them, and they continued to do this little hide-and-seek game with us all weekend. Sunday, we wake up, and the cage wasn't open, luckily. We told Maggie she's no longer allowed to touch the cage because, no. And Sunday, we let them out of the cage when we got up. We usually let them out of the cage as soon as the dogs come back in from their morning walk, because then the dogs are too tired to mess with the ferrets, and the ferrets get to run around without the dogs following them. So we let them out of the cage. It had been like all day. That night, we go to put them back in the cage. We can't find, this time, we really can't find Anna. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, okay, we're not playing this crap again. Like, I don't have, like, I don't have the hair to do this. My edges are weak right now. Like, I don't have the hair capacity to sit here and try to figure out where the hell this goddamn ferret done got off to. We looked for that ferret for maybe an hour before I gave up. And I was like, she will come out whenever she's ready. I don't care. I'm sitting down. I had been working all day, and all I wanted to do was draw a little bit before I had to go to bed. And y'all, I was so frustrated. I sit down, I start drawing, and an hour became 2 hours, and we still hadn't seen her. And the kids had gone to bed, and we still hadn't seen her. And I'm like, well, where the hell is this goddamn ferret? Y'all, this has happened to me more times than I care to admit. The goddamn ferret, one, Gumball, we saw him, got him back in the cage, okay? We knew it was Gumball. We verified this time that it was Gumball. Anna does this thing where she hides in the cage. So this entire time, we thought she was outside of the cage somewhere. Nay, she was in the cage the entire time. They have this hammock that essentially goes deep, like it's a pretty decent sized hammock. They can both fit in it. And it's like a basket more than a hammock, actually. And she was hiding in there because a lot of the times what she does is when you go to reach to see if she's in there, she'll move as your hand is coming towards her. And because it's dark, unless you're using a flashlight, you can't see her. So she essentially did that as we were looking for her. She would just slowly move herself out of the way of the hand. And I'm like, you son of a goddamn ferret. So that was Ferret Adventures. But the kids essentially are super excited and ready for summer. I'm nervous because I now have to find a way to entertain the tiny humans every day, all day for the next 3 months. Well, at least until August. Is that 3 months? June, July. Yeah, it's about 3 months. They probably go back to school around my birthday. Now, my birthday is usually around the time. Don't worry about that. That's the doorbell. One of these days, I'm going to turn that thing off while I'm recording. But I know the moment I do, something is going to happen. Like when that car got stolen by my house, and they used my Ring doorbell to figure out who stole it. Yeah, y'all, look, listen, they did figure out who stole it. They ended up wrapping my neighbor's tree around a pole. And I was like, well, damn. Anyways, so the kids are excited about summer. I'm excited to get the kids out and about. I've decided that I'm not going to wait for Mr. Coffee to do things. I hate having to wait for him to do things because then by the time it's time for him to like do stuff with us, he's too tired. And I'm like, I don't want to wait for that. So I'm probably going to be getting this. We're going to go look this weekend at getting a membership to the rec center that we have here. The rec center has the indoor water park in it. And they also have like tennis and tennis, soccer, all kinds of sports stuff. I wanted to get the kids swimming lessons this year so that they can learn how to swim. Now, how many of you can swim? Asking for myself. Write that down in the comments. I can swim, but it's that, okay, tell me what type of swimming can you do? Can you swim like a fish just for leisure? Or are you like me? You can swim for survival. Like if you throw me in a body of water, I won't die. Like I can get myself out, okay? Now Mr. Coffee, he's a fish. He just swims around like, like it's nothing. Me, I'm trying not to hyperventilate and like panic because there's something on I don't like stuff on my neck. And when I get in the water and the water gets to my neck, immediately I can't breathe. I'm just sitting there like, oh my God. Oh my God. So like I start to panic a little bit. It's okay though, because I won't die. I'm not going to die. I get panicky. And I know I can swim. The problem is the panic outweighs you can swim. And there's been many times where me and Mr. Coffee have gone swimming at this rec center where I start freaking out that I'm going to drown. And he's like, hun, stand up. Oh. I sometimes forget when I'm in water that I'm 6'1", and the pools that they have are usually like 6 foot. Probably no deeper than that. So I'm like, oh yeah. We went to Spring Lake Park and we were swimming in the lake. And I'm freaking out because I had to go get Maggie because Maggie was swimming out too far. You know how they put that rope out? Maggie can swim good enough to get to that rope, but then when it comes time to come back, she don't want to come back. She want to swim further out because she wants to see how deep it is. Now take it. Maggie is I think she's just getting to 5 foot tall. And yeah, she's only 9 and she's 5 foot tall. My mama is 5 foot tall, y'all. I'm going to go visit my parents again, and Maggie's going to go up to my mom and pick her up like a baby and be like, look at my baby Nana. Hi, baby Nana. I keep telling my mom this, and she's like, shut up, leave me alone. Anyways, so I'm like, I just want to get out and do stuff with the kids this summer. I do plan on having a little pop-up stand, which my landlady was like, please let me know when you have the pop-up stand because she wants to buy Scentsy stuff. For those of you who don't know, yes, Miss Coffee sells Scentsy. It's my side hustle. While, I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to make a couple extra bucks on the side to do some good stuff with the kids for the summer and get them ready for school next year. So I sell Scentsy, and it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. So if you are inclined to want to buy anything, there is always a link to my Scentsy shop in my description box. And there's also a link to my Scentsy Facebook group down there where you can join in. And I tell you all the new things that are coming out. I give you, all kinds of cool tips and tricks on using Scentsy and all the above. So if you feel inclined to want to join us, please feel free to do so. Small plug there. Anyways, so I'm excited. I think the thing I'm most excited about with the summer is the fact that I don't have to wake up early anymore. Like, forget these kids. I don't like waking up early. So the fact that I can sleep in and wake up at 10 o'clock instead of waking up at 7. Look, listen. A whole new world. Like, it's a whole new world for me. It's a whole new world. Because if you want to talk about somebody going to be staying up hella late getting projects done, look, listen. If, as Mr. Coffee says, if I can stay healthy enough to do so, because lately, the way my life is set up, every time I turn around, I'm like, something else is bothering me. And I'm like, I look at Mr. Coffee last night, I'm like, are you tired of me talking about stuff bothering me? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, every time we go to bed, I'm like, this hurts or this is bothering me. And he's like, oh, not really. I don't know what the correct answer is to. He's always scared that he's going to say the wrong thing. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? So, yeah, like, but I did start my new iron pills, and they're fast acting, and I can tell, mostly because I got a bolt of energy this morning when I woke up, and I was like, what the flip is this? Is this what it's like to feel like you got a full night's sleep and you're well rested? What the hell is wrong with my body? Is it giving out on me? Like, you ever wake up feeling so good, you're waiting for something to, like, happen? Like, I woke up this morning, and I was like, okay, I know for sure right now, something's wrong. Mr. Coffee goes, why? I'm like, I don't hurt. Nothing is bothering me. I'm not tired. I haven't yawned or anything. I've been up 20 minutes. And he's like, maybe you just got good sleep. You, sir, do not understand the way my body is set up. As I get older, my sleep is no longer good. It's good enough for me. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where I'm like, hi, I'm healthy, Alishia, and I got 13 hours of sleep. And I feel exhausted. I'm just plumb exhausted. And then there's another version of me that's like, hi, I got 4 hours of sleep and I'm exhausted. Just plumb exhausted. And then there's other Alishia that's like, hi, I got the recommended 8 hours of sleep and no matter what I try, I'm still exhausted. Why is it that I'm always so goddamn on tired? And Mr. Coffee, of course, he pipes up with the, Well, maybe it's because you haven't taken your iron pills. Mr. Coffee will not let me live down the fact that there's a whole bottle of iron pills sitting in my cabinet right now. And he bought them back when I had the stroke. And I did not take them. Why? I don't know. I just did. I don't like taking medication, okay? I don't. I will. Okay, ooh, another question for you. Write it down in the comment section. Everybody takes medication. Do you mind taking medication, or do you absolutely hate taking medication? I hate it. Do I do it? Yes. Do I want to? No. No, not because I'm lazy or anything, because I just don't like taking medication. Like, I am thoroughly convinced that I hate medication so much. It's the only reason I never got an epidural when I had my children. Why? Because I hate medication. I hate taking it. Especially when it comes to, like, and that's also explains why I don't take medication for my mental health, even though I probably should. It's because I don't like taking medication, because it feels like every time I go to the doctor, they give you medication. The problem is, and I've said this before, the problem is whenever they give you medication, the side effects sometimes are worse than the goddamn medication. Oh, you have insomnia? Now you're going to have problems with staying awake, because now you're just going to stay asleep all day, every day. You're going to be extremely tired. What's that? Now you're staying awake, or you're too groggy to, stay awake? That's fine. Let me give you something to combat that. Like, it feels like every time I turn around, there's something else with these side effects. Oh, what's that? Your leg hurts? Well, this side effect of this medication makes your leg fall off. Like, what the hell is going on with these pharmaceutical companies and all these side effects? Like, I'm tired of side effects. I can't. The one side effect said sore nipples. And I'm like, I take it for migraines. Why are you messing with my nipples? Like, I don't understand. And I'm not a scientist. I will never proclaim to be one. But please explain to me why migraine medication side effects mean sore nipples. Why do I have to suffer with and how do you, I don't know how to already be an adult. And now you want to mess with my nipples? Like, I don't understand. And it's just the weirdest things. Like, Mr. Coffee has one. It said, could cause gout? And I'm like, what the hell is gout? Like, it's one of his blood pressure meds or something. And I'm like, isn't that when you eat, like, salty fish or something? Like, what the hell? Like, it's just the side effects of all this stuff. And I just don't like taking meds. And then he looks at me, and when I tell him I just don't like taking meds, and he goes, well, I tried giving you Cheerios. I'm like, you throwing a box of Cheerios at me at the grocery store, sir, is not giving me Cheerios. That's you throwing a box of Cheerios at me at the grocery store. Because if you remember, if you've been here long enough, back when I had my stroke, the doctor told me back then as well that my iron levels needed to be increased. And that was part of the reason why I had the stroke, which I forgot to mention that part in the Q&A. So a little recap if you missed the Q&A about the stroke story. One of the other causes of the stroke was that my iron was critically low. And so I had to have an infusion of iron that day, which was one of the reasons why they wanted to stab me multiple times. And I was like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. Like, you already stabbed me like 4 times. Like, why do you need to stab me again? All right, hold on a second. All right. So, sorry, I wanted to check in on the trial because you guys know, if you don't know, I've been neck deep in this trial, and I just know I love you guys because I haven't missed a day of this trial, and I'm missing it for my whipping chat because I know you guys need this whipping chat. So there's that. Also, huge shout out to Ray. Not Rachel Ray. Hey Rachel. I can shout out Rachel too, I guess. Ray is a subscriber and a follower of mine on social media, and I'm saying shout out to her because the other day, now you guys know I'm doing the Q&As on Saturdays. If you would like a question answered or asked in the Q&A, look for the photo of Wednesday Addams in my community tab. Now, you might have to come over to the channel, like the main part of my channel, and look for the community tab post on the main channel, and then scroll down because I did put up that Marvin the Martian and Tasmanian Devil were released with Scentsy above the Wednesday Addams picture. But look for the Wednesday Addams picture for this week. And that's where you ask your questions. Now, those questions get answered first thing Friday morning. So all questions have to be submitted by Friday morning at about I'm going to say 8:30 in the morning, my time. So that's like, what, 9:30 EST. And I say that because, one, it's usually up for about a week. So it gives you a whole week to ask a question. And two, I have to filter out the "what happened to you in Diamond Art Club" questions, because y'all, I'm so sick of hearing it. I'm so sick of hearing it. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. At this point, if they said something, if they've made a statement or you've heard something, just believe that. Okay, I'm at that point where I'm just like, if you heard something, just believe that. I guess that's what happened. I guess I'm tired of answering that question, and I get it every week. And from now on, if I get the question, I'll have to delete it because, again, I'm tired of answering it. But yeah, so look for that picture of Wednesday Addams. I usually answer those questions Friday morning, because it does take forever and a day to render because it is a longer video. But no, back to Ray. So Ray, and I don't want to say her whole name on the internet because, she privacy reasons. I don't want people like being like, "Oh my God, I know who you are. You're that coffee lady that Miss Coffee shouted out." So Ray was like, "Hey, Miss Coffee," and one of the questions for the Q&A, I believe it was, she goes, "Did you ever finish Brooklyn's Blanket?" And I was like, "Brooklyn's Blanket? What the heck?" Oh no. Now remember, y'all, my memory is garbage, okay? Now, see what had happened was, right? I started a blanket for my friend Brooklyn Kaiju because back on whatever day it was, I want to say it was Mario Day, Super Mario Day. I showed him a crochet blanket I made with Super Mario on it, and he was like, "Oh my God, that's super cool, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Yeah, I could do it with your logo." He goes, "No way." So I was like, "Yeah." So I got the yarn for it and started making it. Now, I plan on doing one for Denzel Draws as well. That one's coming up next, but for those folks that are in the fiber art community, pray for me because that blanket is 95% black. If you don't know anything about yarn or the craft of yarning, just know black is one of the most hardest yarns to work with. A lot of people that do fiber art actually will charge you double to work with black. Why? Because it's hard to see. And I have to make a full-size blanket. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to. I have to make a full-size blanket in black with a tad bit of white for Denzel Draws because his colors are black and white. And I'm like, oh, mother chicken. Whereas Brooklyn Kaiju's, his was gray and white. And I'm like, okay, I got that. But the black and white, look, the way my life is set up, good God. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break in between the two blankets, obviously. The problem was I put that blanket away when I was cleaning one day and absolutely forgot about it. Absolutely just forgot about this poor man's blanket. And I was like, oh, snap. The sad part is I only had like 10 more rows of the design left before it's to the part at the end where you essentially just do the repetitive color till it's done. I completely forgot about the goddamn on blanket. And I was like, oh, son of a... So I went and grabbed it. And I will see the blanket and still not realize what it is. Which is why earlier when I said about looking for the ferrets, Kaiju's blanket was back here. Yeah, I saw the blanket and it's folded up in a box. And nobody ever messes with the box, which is why it's in that box. It's one of the things I don't have to worry about Maggie putting marker all over or whatnot. So I had it in the box. Completely forgot about it. And she asked, did I finish it? And I was like, oh, snap. No. So this week, I will actually have two completions. I'm going to have the completion of this canvas, and I will have the completion of the Kaiju blanket, which I'm pretty excited about. Which means, since I will not be starting another canvas until next week, not that I need a break because I've been doing nothing but taking breaks off this poor canvas, I just want to be able to draw Friday night. So if drawing is not your jive, just get a heads up, on Friday night I will be drawing. So there's no confusion. I will be making sure to put in the title whether or not I'm drawing or diamond painting. And this Friday night I will be drawing. Just to give you a little heads up, because I know some people are like, I don't want to watch you draw. And that's fine. You know, we tell you all the time, if you don't like something, just don't watch it. So, you know, I would appreciate if you don't want to watch. That's fine. Catch me on the replay or something. Anyways, so yeah, I will have those two completed this week, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited about my next canvas. I haven't unboxed it yet, though, for the channel, so I will be unboxing it next week, and you guys will see it in the Whippin' Chat next week. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I wonder if y'all can guess what it is. I'm not even going to tell you what company it's from. You just got to guess. Just put some guesses down in the comment section and watch. And by the time I put this video up, people will start guessing what canvas. And no, it's not a canvas, obviously, that I already have in my stash. Again, I haven't showed it yet on the channel. You guys will probably see it Monday. And then I will start working on it immediately because I have the best idea for the canvas. So look out for that. Anyways, so yeah. Back to the kids. So for those wondering, if you didn't hear, Maggie's sleepover went well. She did come back covered in paint. Maggie's theme for this past week has been paint. Now, this is one of the reasons why I don't like doing, I don't mind doing paint by numbers, but again, I have a Maggie. And as you guys know, Maggie in my house is a person, place, or thing. Maggie is a noun. She's an adjective, she's an adverb, she's all the things, okay? And Maggie's, the friend's house that she slept over at, they have paint. And it's not like child-safe paint where, you know, oh, you make a little paint. And you go, oh, you got some on your hand. Let's go wash that off. No. No. These people gave my daughter regular painter's paint. Meaning, hey, you're an adult. You want to paint a house? Use this paint. Y'all, my daughter has had paint in her hair for a week. Okay? A week. And I've tried scrubbing it out. So if you have any suggestions on how to get the paint out of my daughter's hair, and by this time, there's not a lot. There's like 2 streaks of it in her hair. So technically, I can just pull those 2 streaks out and be fine. But for further notice, if you have if you have an idea of how to get that out of her hair, I would greatly appreciate it. Oh, and I am going to answer one question right now because this young lady, Darcy, asked me in the Q&A about how did I teach the kids to play with crayons without eating them. Minna and Orion never wanted to eat them. Maggie, I'll let you know when I figure it out. Maggie, she doesn't eat crayons, but she will shove them up her nose. She will put them in her ear. She will put them in her socks. She will put them anywhere she can fit them because she's a Maggie. Why does she do the things that she does? I don't know. I just know that I love her very much. And I have to keep reminding, like, you ever have your child do something so bad that you have to keep reminding yourself that you love them? Like, I love you so much. I love you so much. I bought Maggie the cutest little jacket this year for winter, okay? It's this beautiful pink and purple gradient jacket. It's pink and it gradients down to purple. It is beautiful, okay? I love this jacket. Within 2 days, she had it covered in markers, okay? We also bought Maggie the cutest little shoes. They're rainbow tie-dye shoes. They're Skechers, and I was like, oh, well, those are going to be your gym shoes because she has to have a set of gym shoes, and then she has to have a set of regular shoes. So I was like, well, those can be your gym shoes, and the other shoes can be your everyday shoes. Why is there pen all over the shoes? Why? 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 Again, I love her so much. I love her so much. And I know people are like, they only stay small for so long. Well, that one can grow up real quick, okay? Like, I wouldn't mind at this point because I'm tired of her drawing on things. Maggie also got put on punishment. What did she get put on punishment for? Oh, that's right. Because she wouldn't keep her room clean. And Daisy keeps eating crowns. And how do we know Daisy's eating crowns? Because when you go out to take your dogs for a walk, right? And your dog's butthole becomes a rainbow, you know something's up. And the first thought I had was, what did she eat in Maggie's room? Because Daisy likes to hang out in Maggie's room with her. So I'm like, what have you gotten into, dog? You should not be shitting the rainbow. Here, Maggie left out some crayons, and Daisy's favorite num-num snack in Maggie's room is crayons, apparently. So Daisy has been pooping rainbows for the last week because she ate a whole pack of crayons. Maggie is upset because she just got those crayons. Like, I literally just bought them because she went, hey, Mom, I would like some crayons. And I went, okay, now take it. Is anybody else going through this? Because this is one of the things I'm not liking about the school right now. Do you remember at the beginning of the year, like the school year, I made a post on my Instagram and I was so excited because I got to get all the kids' school supplies before like the last minute. Like I actually didn't wait last minute. I got them early so the kids were ready for school early this year. Yeah, why did Orion bring back everything except for the Clorox wipes? Take it. I spent $500 on school supplies for 2 kids. That's including shoes, like gym shoes, not like regular school shoes, just gym shoes. $500, okay? Add another $250 to that for school clothes and shoes, like regular shoes each, okay? I spent a good deal of money for them to go back to school, for Maggie to have a growth spurt every 24 hours, for Orion to only wear the sweatpants that he was bought, none of the jeans. He's decided he's against jeans. Nobody in this house wears jeans now except for Mr. Coffee. And he comes home the other day with all this stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is all this? All the school supplies that I bought him, they didn't even use, okay? They were in school the entire year this year. They needed all this printer paper and all this other stuff. They used none of it. None of it. So I was like, what? Now take it. I had extras back here in the craft room, like extra markers, extra color pencils, extra crayons, extra paper, extra this. Had all this extra stuff back here in the craft room for if they lost anything, for Maggie's case, if she ate anything, I would have extras back here. So she got a pack of the extra crowns that I had just purchased because she's already used the spare crowns that I had back here. So we had to buy some more. She takes them up to her room, leaves them out all over the floor, and Daisy goes up while she's in the bathroom and eats the crowns. Like the whole pack. It was like an 8-pack. And don't worry, they're non-toxic crowns, and we already called like the dog poison control thing, and they were just like, you know, she's just gonna be pooping funny, and she has been, again. It's like a poop shoot rainbow. And so Maggie's been grounded, and we took all the stuff out of her room. So Maggie essentially has a bed, blankets, a couple of pillows, and her giant peep. Because where the hell are you going to stash a giant peep? And she still, for the life of her, cannot keep this room clean to save her life. Now, summer is coming, and she's not about to get stuck in the house with me. So at this point, I want to say I don't care. But you can't take that mindset when it comes to stuff like that, because if you allow her to get away with not having her room clean, then she will continue to not clean it. That's where I went wrong in the past, which is the reason she is the way she is now. I take full responsibility for the fact that I was lazy parenting, and I wouldn't go check her room when she would tell me she cleaned it, and then I would go up a couple of hours later to find out she yet had in fact not cleaned it. So I am going to be making measures this summer to teach Maggie a few things. One, to tie her shoe, because she apparently does not remember that she was taught this 3 years ago. Mostly because the kids like picking out shoes that they don't have to tie, which I'm okay with that, as long as they're cute shoes and I know they're going to last for a while. If you want to get shoes that don't tie, that's fine with me. The problem is they then forget how to tie the goddamn own shoes, and I don't want my children to be adults wearing Velcro shoes. So we're going to teach Maggie shoes. We're going to teach her coins because she still thinks nickels are quarters. We're going to teach Maggie that paying bills does not mean drawing monsters on your bills and then sending them back to the bill places, telling them that that's how you're going to pay your bills. I wished it worked that way because I can draw all kinds of little monsters for them to pay my bills. But that's not the way life is set up. So having to teach her that, you know, to stop drawing on stuff because she's still doing it. She's still drawing these little monsters. Okay, so my surgery from, what was it? I maxed out my surgery with my gallbladder surgery, or I maxed out my insurance with the gallbladder surgery. When I say maxed out, I meant like, what is it? Not maxed out. Whatever it's called whenever you go over your deductible or whatever. And then everything you do after that essentially is 100% covered. I did that with my gallbladder surgery. So I owe the hospital $1,800 for the surgery because that's what insurance didn't pay. And this was emergency gallbladder surgery. I don't know what it is regularly, but all I had to pay was $1,800. Well, I'm making my payments on this goddamn bill. Maggie decides to take the paper that I get every month that they send me to remind me to pay the bill. she likes to take it and draw little monsters on it. And then last week, she takes and puts it in the mailbox when I went to go check the mail. And I'm like, what'd you just put in there? And of course, I can't get it out of the mailbox. So she's like, nothing. And I was like, all right, bet. I didn't get a phone call from the place telling me that I didn't send my payment in. And I'm like, I didn't get the paper that I normally do. And they're like, yeah, we got it. And it has like, it looks like somebody drew on it and sent it back to us. And I was like, oh my God, you know how embarrassing it is to have to explain to the bill collector that, hey, by the way, my daughter thinks that drawing these adorable little monsters is how you pay bills. Like, I love her. Do you have a child that you have to remind yourself that you love? Like, I feel like Maggie, right? I had Minna first. Minna was a really cool, calm, collected baby. She didn't do much of anything. She didn't want much for anything. Then I had Orion, cool, dope little boy. I was so excited because I've always wanted a boy. He's super excited because I had a boy and a girl. And I was like, I'm set. I don't need any more kids. Surprise, here comes Maggie. And I'm like, I love her already. She's so sassy. And even as a baby, you know, you ever seen a sassy baby? Maggie as a baby roll her eyes at people. Funniest thing on the planet. Except for Minna's dad. When Maggie was a baby, she loved Minna's dad. Even now, she will call Minna just to talk to her dad. She gives 2 flying flip-flops about Minna. She wants to talk to Minna's dad. Now, Minna's dad half the time isn't home, so she's stuck talking to Minna. But she loves Minna's dad. But Maggie was always a sassy baby. She would always, like, try to snap her fingers at you. Or she'd, like, cut her eyes at you when you said something she didn't like. And I should have known by that she was going to be a sassy child. But I was like, oh no, look at her being cute. Look at my cute baby. Now I'm like, oh God, please don't tell her she's cute. She's not a baby. It's one of those things where the universe was just like, we gave you 2 very calm, cool, collected children. And then we gave you a Maggie. Without Maggie, I honestly, I don't know what I would do with myself, to be honest. Like, I'm so used to her shenanigans at this point that if she didn't have shenanigans going on, I'd sit here all day like, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Like, like, even though they drive me nuts, I don't think I would know what to do myself without the Maggie shenanigans. Like, I love that little girl to death, but good God, like, I'm hoping this summer she calms down a bit. I really do, because, like, she's going to be 10 years old this year. And it's hard to believe that my youngest is going to be 10. It's hard to believe that my oldest is going to be 16. But we're not going to talk about that. Minna actually has been talking to me about getting box braids. And I'm like, oh, sweet Lord. Now, I was hoping, of course, as a mother, that I would be there the day she got her first box braids and take her over to the hair salon to get her box braids. But unfortunately, because I can't be there, I was like, I'll pay for it. And I also want to talk to the stylist, because everybody claims that they do box braids. That doesn't mean that they do them correctly, okay? There's a different way of doing that. And speaking of that, I have to get ready for this, not this week, next week. Next week, I think the 1st is on Wednesday next week, I think. I have to get ready to do, my hair, because it's Pride Month. Hello! Time for the rainbow braids to come back. Wah, 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 wah. So I need to get my hair done probably this weekend. So I'm excited about that. And I don't know if I even have any more rainbow nails. So I might have to go order some quick, or see if I can get somebody to make me some real quick. Because I just thought about it. I don't have any rainbow nails. Hold on a second. I now have rainbow nails on the way. Did I pause you to go shopping for rainbow nails? I did. Why? Because if I don't, I will forget, and then June will come and I will have no rainbow nails to match my rainbow hair. Anyways. So it was a pretty interesting week. And like I said, the kids have, today's Tuesday, Wednesday. They have 2 more, today and Wednesday. They get out of school early on Thursday. Thursday is their official last day of school. So they have off all day Friday, which makes my life that much easier, because then I don't have to worry about rushing around to get my vlog and stuff up for my Patreons. Small plug, I have a Patreon. Feel free to join. You get vlogs if you join that tier, or you can get your name at the end of my videos, or you can get a weekly or a monthly live with me, which lives might be more common now for Patreon, because with summer coming, I'll have a lot more free time because the kids will be, doing kid things. And Mr. Coffee had talked about going camping. One, have you ever been camping? I have not. I am not a wilderness type person, which is weird because I love to go to the forest and walk around and be amongst Mother Nature. But do I want to sleep there? No, I don't. I don't want to sleep in Mother Nature, okay? So, yeah. And one of these Q&As, I'm going to have you guys ask a couple of questions to the kids. And me and the kids are going to craft together and do, like, I want to do this summer, I want to do a whip and chat. Tell me what you guys think. And I know you guys will love this idea. I want to do a whip and chat with each one of the kids. So, like, I would get Minna on and I'd do a whip and chat with her. I'd get Orion on and do a whip and chat with him. And then I'd get Maggie on and do a whip and chat with her. But do keep in mind that if I did this, one, I would allow you guys to ask them questions. And of course, just make sure you remember that they are children. They are tiny humans. So don't be cursing at them, being like, what the hell is it like being the parent or the child of Miss Coffee? This shit sucks. Like, I don't want y'all, like, don't curse at them, okay? I can curse at them. I birthed them, but you don't curse at them. But I do want to do a whip and chat with each one of the kids this summer. Probably like once a month or something. I don't know. Maggie is going to be my hardest obstacle while the kids are off for summer, because with her friends, and I don't want to get them into too many activities over the summer, because I do want to allow them to relax. Summer, according to Orion, the best part about summer is the relaxing part of it, where he doesn't have to get up early for school. He doesn't have to, like, go anywhere. He can sit and read and play games with his friends and do whatever. The problem is, I don't want him doing that all day. So, like me, he doesn't want to go camping, but he doesn't mind going out of the house every once in a while to go, like, see stuff outside. But once he's had enough outside, nah, look, homie, the way my life is set up, let me go ahead and get back in this house real quick. So, we do want to, well, I want to do stuff with the kids. Mr. Coffee, trying to get Mr. Coffee to do anything on his days off is hard, because it's his days off and he only gets 2 of them a week. And half the time he doesn't even get 2 of them. He'll either get 1 or none, because they'll call him into work. So, like, he's on call 24/7, which makes it incredibly difficult to do things, because once we get started to get ready to leave the house, they'll call him to go to the shop for 20 minutes. And I'm like, y'all couldn't do this yourself. Y'all closer to the goddamn on shop now. But because he is the head of that department, he's the one that has to go out all the time. So I'm like, God dang it. It's part of the oil field life. You just got to, roll with the punches, I guess. But I will be taking the kids out to do stuff. Like, we're going to be going to Spring Lake Park. We're going to be going to the indoor water park a lot. But as it stands right now, I can't take them because they'll get sick on the way home. How are you going to go to the indoor water park where it's like 70, 80 degrees in there, and then go outside and it's 50 degrees? Like, y'all, I'm not joking. Mother Nature needs to take a Midol and sit her little ass down somewhere. Like, it's getting on my nerves. The fact that I'm still wearing my winter coat and summer vacation is in 2 days. Y'all, currently it's 54 degrees, okay? Our high today is 65. What is this? Spring coming late? Is it going to be hot as all get out when the kids start school, so then I have to buy them summer, winter, and winter clothes again? Like, and when I say winter clothes again, that's double winter, meaning that's the, like, insulated part of winter. There's 2 types of winter here I've noticed. There is balls cold and balls off cold. Like, freeze your balls off cold. Because it can be cold here. Like, it can get down to, like, the 20s and 30s. But then there's when it hits the negatives that you got to worry about. So the kids end up getting most kids get their clothes based on the season, like summer clothes, spring clothes, fall clothes, winter clothes. My kids get winter, double winter, spring, 20 minutes of summer. Like, it's so annoying. Yeah, you spend a lot of money, and it's weird because you spend a lot of money for clothes here, because I'm not joking you have to budget in for winter and second winter and third winter and fourth winter. Like, winter does not stop here for some reason. Winter's just like an all year round event. We had snow Saturday. Like, what? It's summer. What is happening? Welcome to Williston. That's why I say if people are stupid enough to come up here to try to come stalk me, then you come stalk me, okay? You deserve to be here, because I don't know anyone. Like, Johnny Depp could have lived here and me had this experience. And I would be like, nah, look, listen, the way my life is set up, I'll catch you later, Mr. Depp. I don't know why you living up there. I've lived up there. It's not the funnest thing in the world. So yeah, no, no, I'm good. So there's that. But I was really mad the other day because I go up to the kids' school and I see this cop there. And I'm like, what's up with the cop at the school? Now, they do have, security at the school. And I'm like, it's which is sad, but, USA. But they have security up at the school. And I seen this cop, like, kind of directing traffic. He's not talking to anybody. He's just directing traffic. And I'm like, what is he doing? I drop Maggie off and I go on about my day, not thinking about it. I asked Mr. Coffee, hey, did you see increased security at Orion's school? Because he drops Orion off in the morning. And he's like, no, why? I'm like, because there was a cop out at Maggie's school. And he's like, why? I'm like, obviously, I didn't know. If I wasn't asking you if there's security at Orion's school, maybe you knew. And he's like, no, I didn't notice anything different. I was like, okay. So I call the school and I'm like, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, we're just enforcing some new rules in the parking lot. Now take it, their parking lot ain't big, okay? It's not a big parking lot. Apparently, right in front of the door where the kids have to go in for school, there's handicap parking. Now, when you're dropping your kids off for school, you're not necessarily parking. You're dropping them off and you're leaving. But tell me why 4 days before school ends for the year, they decide to enforce. Because when people would come up to the school, they would just park right in front of the door, drop their kid off, and drive off. They are now enforcing that you cannot drop your child off in front of the door because it's handicap parking. And unless you have a handicap placard, you cannot stop your car there to drop your child off for 30 seconds. Like, I'm not joking you. You're literally there for like 30 seconds. Now take it. Yes, there are handicapped children that go to the school, but they are usually there way before everybody else. I don't know why, but they're usually there before everybody else, probably just to avoid traffic and the holdups and stuff. And yeah, I don't understand why we can't stop there long enough to drop a child off. It's not like, they wouldn't have to wait anyway for traffic, because now traffic is backed up even worse just so that they can have that parking spot open. And it's, I get it. It's fine. I'm not saying that you need to be parking in handicap parking. That's not at all what I'm saying. So please don't take it that way. What I'm saying is I don't understand why they would, one, make it right in front of the door where you have to park so far up on the sidewalk that it takes your child at least a whole 2 minutes just to walk in the door, because they have to walk the entire length of the sidewalk just to get to the door now. And I'm like, why can't we? And the guy's like, yeah, if we're not allowing people to drop their children off here anymore, you have to pull up. And I'm like, pull up? I'm like, what? So I was like, this seems really odd. So I called the school and I'm like, why are y'all just now enforcing this 4 days before school ends? Y'all actually think this is going to last until next year? Like, this is not, this isn't going to work. Like, you wait till the end of the school year to do this? Well, we've been getting a lot of complaints. Complaints from who? Like, from who? Anytime I've gone to the school to drop my kid off, there's 2 buses that are usually parked there anyways. So I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Y'all want to be petty? I can be petty too. So what did I start doing? Now, in the parking lot of the school, you have the school... you have the school and the sidewalk, right? And then across the street, which is like literally like about that big, you have the parking lot where the teachers and stuff park, which they can't even all park there. Maybe 8 cars can park there. And then the rest of them have to park on the side of the road by the school, okay? That's how small this school is, the parking lot at least. So what I do, instead of pulling up right here, because, okay, my ring is the door. This is the sidewalk. I pull up here, Maggie gets on the sidewalk and goes into the door. The way they want you to do it is they want you to drive all the way up here, then your child walk all the way back just to go in the door. And I'm like, that's hella inconvenient. So what did I start doing? I started parking right across the street, because there's no handicap parking across the street there. Right across the way from in the same parking lot, just right across the way, like in between the road, I parked there. And I'm like, but if I'm going to park here, if you think that I'm going to just let my child out and have her get hit by a car like I did last year, because I even mentioned that. I'm like, so you just want people to get hit by a car like I did? Oh, Miss Tepper, that's not what we're at all saying. I'm like, that's what's going to happen. I mean, these people around here don't know how to drive properly. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Y'all want to be petty? I can be petty too. So I started parking across the parking lot. And then I will get out of my car. Like, I will park it. Now take it. There's cars behind me. I don't care. I get out of my car and I will walk my child to the door. I will then walk my gingerly tail right back to my car, get in my car, start the car because I'm not going to leave it running, start the car, and then take off. I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care if kids are late. This is what happens when you don't allow us to park for 30 seconds to drop our children off in front of the door. And then what if it's raining? What if it's snowing? It's not like y'all cleared your sidewalk or anything. So I'm just like, that's fine. And the cop looks at me and I'm like, I'm not in handicap parking. You can't say nothing. He didn't. He just looked at me and just kind of like put his head down. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. Like, you can't say nothing. Like, it makes no sense to me. And again, I understand that you don't want to park there. Like, at the end of the school day, nobody parks there because we know that that is for the handicapped children to get in and out of school. But when you're just dropping off your kid, I don't see what the issue is. I've never seen them have an issue getting the children, like any of the kids, even the handicapped children. I've never seen them have an issue getting them in and out of the school. Plus, what makes me mad is, and we've talked about this at like parent conference meetings and stuff. They talk about the handicap parking right in front of the school. Why is the handicap ramp? They have a ramp for the one little boy is in a wheelchair. They have a ramp for him to get into the school. But it's like, it's not even directly in front of the school. It's down a little bit by the dumpsters. Like there's like 4 dumpsters that sit on the side. It's down there for him. So he has to go by the dumpster just to come up to get into school. I'm like, you want to talk about flawed layout? Look, listen, I can talk flawed layout with y'all all day, but this is ridiculous. So yeah, so they decided that 4 days before school ends that they're going to enforce this rule. And I'm like, this is complete horse pucky. But whatever. You just have to suck it up and deal with it. Who's to say she'll even go in that door next year anyways? Because I think they have 6 different doors. And every year that school starts, they go into a different door. It's like Letter to Hogwarts or some crap. Like, go into door 6. Your child comes out of door 3. And then I spend the first half of the school year trying to figure out where the hell door 3 is or door 6 is. Took me forever to figure out that door 5 was the front door. So I was like, good God. Like, oh my gosh. So hopefully next year will be better, but because she's going into 4th grade next year, y'all, help her, Lord help her. We're going to be doing some serious practicing with her reading this year for summer because I don't want her to lose her skills in reading. And where she will and can read by herself, she does prefer to read with me, which I don't mind. So we're going to do some hardcore reading this year. Ryan, of course, he's already on the 2nd book in that Harry Potter book series that he got from Elisa. So thank you again, Elisa, for that. So yeah, like I'm hoping to have a good summer with the kids. And by the time you guys see this, well, I guess that's today. By the end of this week, the kids will be out for summer, and I'm super, super excited. If your children go to school, when do they get out for summer? Minna is stuck in school for another week after my kids get out, or after the little ones get out, and she always gets mad, and I'm like, you could move up here, and she's like, no. Okay. Minna won't move up here because of the winters. It's not even that she doesn't want to. It's because of the winter. She doesn't think she can handle the winter. I'm like, surprisingly, you get used to it. And she's like, you haven't shut up complaining about it since you moved there. That's not what I mean by getting used to it. When I say getting used to it, I mean, oh, it's cold again. It's snowing in April. That's fine. Like, it's okay, where is it? It's that meme of the dog and the fire. This is fine. Everything's fine. That's what North Dakota weather is. Like, if North Dakota weather was something physical, it'd be that dog with the fire. It's fine. It's all fine. So yeah, there's all of that. But that is going to be it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best listeners. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I would greatly appreciate it. Feel free to share it with your friends. Comment on the video. It helps me get the video out to more people so that they can see the coffee house shenanigans as well. If you enjoy this, please feel free, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button and follow, or not follow, what is this? Oh, geez. Hit the subscribe button and then the bell to be notified anytime I decide to put up a video, because believe me, it is random. But with that said, I gotta get out of here, folks. Thank you again so much for listening and watching. Questions, comments, concerns, you know how we do. Put them down in the comment section below. And always remember to stay caffeinated. Stay crafty. stay safe, and always try to remember to be kind to others, be courteous, and always stay cool.